evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are. My name is Victoria Nkatha, and we are here. We are here with yet another Wisdom Wednesday. And if you haven't missed me, I have missed you very, very much. Last week we did not host a show because of some technicalities here and there, but of course, we cannot keep you. We cannot keep you. We cannot go away for too long. We cannot go away for too long. But you know how these technology things are. And today we are a bit delayed because I was actually stuck somewhere. But here we are. The show must go on. So please tell a friend to tell a friend that we are on, we are set, and we are ready for today's show. So for those who are new to the channel, to wherever that you're watching from, please do not hesitate to subscribe to the channel. And if not following us on Facebook, please go ahead and follow. These are the two places where we usually go live at, and this is where we usually are every Wednesday and every Sunday, or rather every second Sunday. So be sure to tell a friend to tell a friend. Please do share in the comment sections wherever that you're watching from. Tell me where you are at so that I can be able to holler at you. And remember, subscribe. I repeat, subscribe to the channel, subscribe to the channel now. Today's topic, for those who haven't already seen, today's topic on Wisdom Wednesday is all about positive mental health and the essentials of positive mental health. So here's a little video on today's show, and then we'll go right into today's topic. Hello, everyone. My name is Victoria Nkatha from Responding to Life, and I'm here with your word of the day. Today's Wisdom Wednesday. Today's word of the day is inspired by Winston Churchill, who says that the pessimist sees the difficulty in every opportunity, while the optimist sees the opportunity in every difficulty. And this is how a lot of people usually don't thrive in situations. And this also reminds me of the show that we're about to have tonight. But let me just go on with the word of the day. Now, if you constantly see difficulty in any situation, whether good or bad, then you'll end up being in a situation where you'll have negative habits because already you've tuned yourself to thinking about the worst about everything. Now, when you tune yourself to thinking positively, you then start behaving and maximizing on your potential. You start behaving in a positive manner, and therefore you start developing positive habits, which in turn give you positive results. So develop a positive attitude, see the opportunity, and I will see you tonight at Responding to Life on tonight's show. See you then. Yes, and we are here on tonight's show. Now, today is all about the essentials of positive mental health. And wherever you're watching from, please let me know, what does positive mental health mean to you? Remember, we always start with the question, and we're going to go through this whole question throughout today's video. So, what does positive mental health mean for you? Now, Jacob Olang says, watching from Europe, aka Kisumu. Hello, Jacob, and welcome to today's show. Tobias Odondi says, hi from New York. Hi, we are all international. So, hello and welcome to today's show. Now, what does positive mental health mean to you? Now, the essentials of positive mental health, to be able to get to a positive mental health um, place, we need to also learn how to get there and do what we need to do to be able to get there. A lot of people usually do not have structure in their lives, and this is something that I also didn't have at some point, and therefore I wasn't able to get to a positive mental state. And this is what we're trying to avoid so that we can be able to get to a positive mental health. And achieving positive mental health is not as easy as you may think it is. So many of us do not understand how to get there, and that is why we are here, right? That is why we are here. So with that said, we'll just go straight into it because I have quite the list today. And if you know me, you already know that I'm always here to educate. Whatever I learn, I will give. And I said something the other day that I'm not mean with knowledge, and therefore I will do my best to be able to educate as much as possible, to inspire as much as possible, and therefore I will be able to stand and grow as we all glow together. So I have quite the list, which I'm actually adding on. That's why you can hear the clicky sounds, right? So I have quite the list of which we'll be able to go through today. So do share the broadcast, do share right now as we are live. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Now, number one, the essentials of positive mental health. Again, I go back to asking you, what does positive mental health mean to you? Because very many of us think that positive mental health is about being happy, laughing, and so on and so forth. But that usually is not it. You do not, you, the essence of positive mental health, there are a lot of people who would be suffering from inside, but do their best to actually stay happy and smiling so that they can have this facade. Remember last time when we were here, we talked about facade and we talked about the areas of self awareness and much, much more. And if you've been following through, we've been having this kind of knowing ourselves series that has been going on unofficially. But if you really look at the past videos that we've been doing, we've been really focusing on self reflection, how we deal with ourselves so that we can be able to do the best that we can be able to do in terms of life. So, with that said, number one, the first essential of positive mental health, number one is vision and goal setting. Now, understand that to be able to have a positive mental health, you need to know where do you want to go? Where do you want to be within your life? And how do you know the end at the beginning? How do you know where is Victoria going to be in the next 2 years, in the next 3 years, in the next, where do I want to go? And that is one of the questions that you need to ask yourself. Remember, today we're discussing the essentials of positive mental health. This is our topic of the day, and we're going in point by point. Now, number one, we started by saying the first essential of positive mental health is vision and goal setting. Where do you want to go? Where are you seeing yourself? Who are you? A person without a vision or a sense of direction in their life often lives their life going around in circles. You often live your life where you are just spinning around. You're just spinning around the same place. You're spinning around the same place. You're spinning around the same place. And you constantly realize that even in that spinning around, you cannot make sense of things. Therefore, you often get to a point where it's like you're turning around in a roundabout. You know how you don't know which exit to take simply because you have no direction. You don't know where you want to go. Therefore, your life is just a roundabout. Your life is just a roundabout. And while doing this, they can easily make themselves not progress in life. And when you're going around in circle, you're doing everything. You're too busy doing nothing. I like this saying that says, "Do not be too busy doing nothing." Have you ever seen someone who you ask, can we do this, can we do this business plan, can we make this plan on something else, or can we go on and do this, and they constantly would be like, you know what, I'm busy, I'm busy. And when you look at their life, they're not progressing, they're not doing anything that seems to make, you know push them forward. And this is because most people are too busy circling in the same area, circling in the same direction, circling and not making any progress whatsoever. And this is because you lack vision. You're told always have a vision for where you want to go in life. Set your goals. I remember in on Monday, last Monday, when we were having the Twitter Spaces for Responding to Life that is hosted by the beautiful Imani every Monday. We're discussing about how important goal setting is and whether goal setting actually works. And there are a lot of ideas that came in terms of put setting goals, put your goals and set your goals such that they're realistic, they're clear, they are they are motivational, they can motivate you. And goal setting, what goal setting does, it makes you also improve yourself every day. What goal setting does, it also helps you wake up every single morning that you also know that this is what I want to do, this is where I want to go, this is how I'm achieving this. It's like a map. A driver can't, if you're going to an unknown place, which is our visions are unknown places. Otherwise, if we knew what we were going to, exactly how to get there, we would probably be the most successful people and life wouldn't happen. But because visions are unknown places, you need a direction, a way to go to it. You need your goals. You need to set your goals. You need that oomph that's going to push you every single day so that you can wake up and be like, you know what, today we're doing this and this is how we're pushing closer to our goal, to our vision every single day. And that is very, very important. So have these small goals every single day that you wake up. Have these small goals. They can be able to say, hey, This is what I'm doing, this is how I'm doing it, this is where I'm going, and I know where my destination is. I may not know how to get there, but these small goals will direct me towards it every single day. And this is how I'm going to work every single day towards achieving the vision. Always remember who you are. And like I said, first point, vision and goal setting. How does this help in terms of mental health? Vision and goal setting places you at a point where you're avoiding stress, and then you're limiting the amount of cluster that will happen in your life. Now, people who often are confused tend to really get a lot of stress and anxiety. So you have no sense of direction. You don't know what you want to do with your life. You don't know where you want to go with your life. And therefore, you tend to have this cluster that happens in your life. So many things are happening at a go. Everything is happening to you. You don't know what you want to do. You don't know where you want to go. And life is just, life is just coming at you. Life is just coming at you. And this makes you frustrated. This makes you anxious. This makes you stressed. This makes you depressed. Therefore, setting goals and having a vision, knowing that, hey, Victoria wants to settle at this point. Victoria wants to finish her education at this point. You want to, and this is who I want to become, and this is where I want to go, helps declutter life. That every day that you wake up, you're not waking up to a cluster of so many things, so much happening, so much life going on, but you're waking up to knowing, today I'm getting a step closer. Today I'm doing this to be able to push a little bit forward. Today I'm fighting this, or I have to get to this so that I can be able to get a bit closer. So do that. Do that. So, number two, we're going step by step, and today I'm really dissecting it. I don't want to go really, really fast because last time we did so much information that I doubt that people actually caught on it. So, today we're going slowly by slowly so that we can be able to really internalize everything. So remember, our topic of the day is, and I'll keep on repeating this, the essentials of positive mental health. Remember, positive mental health is not only about ha ha ha, he, and da da da, right? It's about really living in that aspect of, you are positive and your vibrations are positive. It's not only because there are a lot of people, again, I repeat, a lot of people live in this situation where they're smiling, they're laughing, but there's a lot of confusion going on. There's a lot of negativity going on within them. And this is what we want to go in and dissect today. So the first was vision and goal setting, the essentials of positive health, positive mental health. Number two, we're going to go to the ability to self-regulate. Like I mentioned earlier, one of the things that has been very consistent in terms of what we do, what we've been doing recently, has been this whole aspect of self awareness. We've been really, really dealing with ourselves, and we've been talking about ourselves. We've been talking about how we want to grow, how we want to push forward, how we want to be able to get to the best that we can be. And all of it has always brought us back to self regulation and self awareness. Now, therefore, if you want to be able to get to a positive mental health, then you need to be self aware. Self-aware precedes all Self-awareness precedes all personal growth. If you want to grow, then you need to know your areas of failure, your areas of fault, your areas of which you lack. You need to know your areas of which you need to make better. You need to know your areas of strength. You need to know all these things. If we are in awareness of all the areas in our life that we want to improve, then we are able to drive growth in those areas. But if we're not, then we're not able to drive growth in those areas. And personal growth is all about a reflection of self regulation, knowing where you can be able to change and shift and regulate yourself in the most proper way possible so that you can be able to achieve a personal mental health, positive, not personal, positive mental health situation. Now, again, we're going back and connecting this to the whole vision and goal setting aspect. If I do not self-regulate, or if I do not sit down and say, "Hey, Victoria, who are you? Victoria, what are you doing with your life? Victoria, where do you want to be with your life?" Then I'm not able to go in and realize what do I need to adjust to be able to get to my vision. If I do not self-regulate or rather self-reflect, let's start from there. If I do not self reflect, then I'm not able to become self aware. If I'm not self aware, then I'm not able to be to self regulate. And if I don't self regulate, then I'm not able to grow. Did you understand that? So you start by self now I forgot. You start by being able to self reflect. You start by reflection. You are reflecting about who you are. And then you go into self awareness. And then you go into self regulation. Then you're able to regulate whatever you need to regulate so that you can be able to now work on who you are, work on your attitude, work on your identity, work on, which we're going to look at in the next point. You're able to work on your goals, you're able to work on your vision, you're able to know who I am and where I want to go. So remember, always remember, self-awareness precedes all personal growth. There's no growth that can happen if you do not know who you are. Don't lie to yourself with all these Instagram posts that tell you that, oh, growing, you're working every day and you're da da da. You need to become self aware to be able to grow within yourself and to be able to identify your errors. If you do not know, how would you, let me ask you, how would you grow an apple tree if you don't even know the seed that you have planted? If you don't know the seed that you have planted in the ground, and you need apples, let's say you need apples to be able to manufacture a certain type of product, let's say apple juice or whatever that you can think about in terms of apples, and you need this, but you go on and buy some seed out there, you plant it, and then you're saying, okay, you know what, it will grow, and when it grows, then we figure it out, right? What are the chances that this seed will become an apple tree? Very slim, very very slim, especially if you haven't even studied about seeds, if you don't haven't gone to the right shop, you've just bought a seed out of nowhere and you're expecting an apple tree, and you're very much expecting an apple tree to work. This is how a lot of us live. We live with chances of, ah, I will turn out well no matter what, and I'll just wing it. And you're not taking time to reflect. You're not taking time to become self-aware. You're not taking time to know who you are, and therefore you're not able to plant the right seeds to bear the right fruits. You need to be able to do that. Otherwise, chances of the right fruits coming out are slim to none. You might have seeds, roots all over. You might have seeds that will give you potatoes, and you may not even need potatoes, right? And they may not even be useful. And a lot of us are really winging it in life. And therefore, this contributes to a very, very negative mental state. And this now becomes dangerous to us and dangerous to the people who are around us. So remember, number two is the ability. If you want to be able to get to a positive mental health, you need to have the ability to self regulate. Now, let me quickly go into the comment section and quickly read the comments. Jacob Olang says, looking good, that nice slogan on the tee. Yes, thank you. Let me tell you, sometimes when I wear this and people frustrate me, I'm like, right? Or when people are being very annoying, I'm like, look over here. So thank you very much, Jacob. Chris Panizo, thank you so much. He says, Victoria, looking fundamentals as always. Thank you very much, my darling. Now let's go on over to the next point. I told you I have very many today. I have several today. So we're here, we're learning, and as we are learning, we also want to grow. And our main agenda is to be able to get to a positive mental health. And before then, let me just play you a video over here. And this was introduced to me by Nyokabi, and it will probably introduce us to the next point. So just quickly watch this. And I really love, I think for those who follow the show religiously, know that I've played this video severally. So because it fits into so many things that I talk about. So here we go.
Wolo bakinine, wolo bakinine.
I love this video so much because it helps me talk about so many things, and I love that you're coming sharing it with me because maturity, sense of identity. You have to have a sense of identity. And listen, identity has become some sort of taboo in our generation. Everybody is trying to be someone else. People do not know themselves and they do not have their own identity. And on top of that, when you now identify with labels rather than who you are, ooh, then you realize that we're getting into a situation where people are just, identifying with the negatives. They are identifying with other people. They're copying. You see, like the little thingy that was just going and copying everybody. You want to identify with people rather, and you don't even know what they're carrying that makes them who they are. You're just there. You're just winging it with life. You're just identifying with other people's, lifestyle. You want to now get into people's lifestyle, or you want to identify yourself with statements that are labels and they're negative to your life. Let me tell you, to be able to get to a positive mental health, you need to stop identifying with negativity and negative labels that you're placing on yourself without your knowledge. Let me explain something. Somebody would go by statements such that I am not able to do this and that, or I am stupid. So many of us are, I am stupid. I am defining myself in the worst possible way. I am not able. I am incompetent. I am ugly. You identify. Number one, that is identifying yourself with negative things. Number two, identifying yourself with other people. You don't even know who you are, therefore you're just winging it, you're copying other people. Everybody's style you want to copy. Today you hear that Victoria is dressing like this, you want to go there. You hear that Victoria is doing this, you want to go there. You hear that Christmas is doing that, you want to go there. You don't have any sense of identity, and that can easily run you down to a negative place in life. You need to understand that these things are very dangerous when it comes to your life. You need to stand by your own, have your own sense of identity. Realize, and we talked about regulating yourself. Regulating yourself pushes you forward to having a mature sense of identity where your I am statements are beneficial to your life. You define yourself not by your emotions, not by your disorders. There's so many people who always identify themselves by their disorders. You ask someone why you didn't do this, oh, it's because I'm dyslexic, it's because I'm anxious, I'm always anxious. I know someone who constantly talks about how their anxiety, I am full of anxiety. Every time you ask them something, it's because my anxiety. Somebody even owns disorders. I say it's my anxiety, my anxiety, my anxiety. But which one? It's not mine. It's important for you not to identify with your disorders. Do not identify with your emotions that, oh, I am angry, oh, I am sad, especially when they are negative. Do not identify yourself with labels that people give you. If somebody tells you that you're not pretty, you're there, you're identifying that I am not pretty. You're stating these things and you're believing them. Remember, the words that come out of your mouth are the things that will turn into your thoughts and therefore your actions. If you identify as anxious or my anxiety all the time, you end up behaving in a way that it's only your anxiety that is ruling over your life. And even in situations that you're capable of doing much, much more, you're not able to overcome. Why? Because you are identifying with your disorder. Your disorder is just that. Your emotions are just that. They are not your identity. You cannot afford to identify yourself with anything else other than your virtues, other than who you are, other than who you define yourself. Who do you define yourself as? I learned this when I started learning about mental health. Listen, if I'm not at the point where I need to be at, what I will identify with is virtues. Virtues such that, listen, I am growing, I am becoming. I love that Michelle even wrote this book and she was like becoming, and she identified herself as becoming Michelle Obama, becoming who she, because at that point she wasn't Michelle Obama right now, in that state. But now that she is, she identifies as her values, as who she is, and she knows herself in completeness. But before then, at the point that you are at, maybe you're in a different situation or you're in a hard situation and so on and so forth, rather than identifying with the situation, identifying with the labels, identifying with this, with the negative aspects, then identify with where you want to go to. I am learning, I am improving, I am growing. If anybody asks you who you are, it's I am growing, I am becoming, I am learning, I am improving. These are the adjectives and the words that you need to be using in your mouth, rather than, oh, I am broke, oh, I am this. Some, it's a matter of knowing that you hold so much power in your tongue, because this is what now goes into your thoughts. Many poor people are there constantly saying how poor they are. Anytime you're asked about why your situation is the way it is, oh, because, oh, I am poor, oh, my family, oh, my poverty. They identifying with things is a very powerful, very, very powerful. And you need to know when to identify with something and when to just label it for what it is. That poverty there, it is there, but it ends with me. I am not poor. I am growing. I am becoming. I am learning. I am improving. I am pushing. I am great. I am beautiful. I am this and that. The opinions and labels of others should not matter and define who you are. You should have that self regulated person that this is who I am, and therefore this ends up improving your mental health in turn. And I can promise you that once you get to that state that you're now improving, you'll realize that even the words and your thoughts that are now changing into I am improving, I am becoming, I am growing, now also change into actions of I am improving every single day. They motivate you towards improving. And funny thing is that they now become your habits. As they become your habits, they now materialize and become your destiny. They now change and they start manifesting in your life. Your habits now tend to bring in results, results of improvement, results of growth, results of learning, results of greatness, because that is what you identify with. So remember, the ability to be able to get to a positive mental health, number three essential of positive mental health is identifying. How do you identify with yourself? Your mature sense of identification. Do not identify with your negative emotions. Do not identify with your disorders. Do not identify yourself with labels, negative labels. Change your whole speech towards yourself and realize that you're going to get to a better mental health state. With that said, I hope somebody's learning. I hope somebody's learning today. And I can see that y'all are joining, but y'all are very quiet. But it's okay. It's okay. We grow, and we're growing, and we're growing. That said, let us go to number four. Number four pointer. Number four pointer. Now, number four pointer is your essential number four essential aspect of positive mental health. Now, strength, consistency, decisiveness, and responsibility. I don't think we need to discuss this even more because they already speak for themselves. Because number one, know your strength. Know your strength, and this can be able to build much more. I was at an interview one time, and they asked me, so why would you like to join us? And I told them, listen, I wouldn't apply for a job of which I believe is not fit for my strengths. I wouldn't want to apply for a job that I know I would have a very hard time doing. Therefore, for me, I applied to this job because this is my strength. And I believe that I will be of great value to the company because in my strength, I'm able to do my best. I'm able to do it consistently. I'm able to do it diligently, and I'm able to perform and bring more value and bring more results to the company. And this guy said, wow. Knowing your strength can be able to let you push forward in so many things. And again, we're going back to the aspect of self regulation. Knowing who you are, knowing your strengths can help you even push forward in terms of your destiny and know where to put the attention, where to apply pressure. I love it when people say applying pressure, but you need to know where to apply the right pressure. When I know that this is my strength, then I am applying pressure in that area and I'm saying, you know what, this is what I'm going to do. This is how I'm going to do it. This is where I'm going to do it. And nobody can tell me nothing. It's not in a prideful sense, but it's in a sense of you know your strength. And with that, you're consistent. You push consistency. You push what you need to do and you push it forward, right? And you constantly work on your strengths and push. If it's content creation, then you're consistent in your content creation. If it's your work ethic, you're consistent in your work ethic. If it's whatever it is, pushing forward, that gives you better results. And who doesn't like better results? At the end of the day, that now goes in and becomes an essential in your positive mental health. Then you realize that working with your strengths now gives you better results. And in better results, you now become a very happier person, a very self-fulfilled person, a content person. Why? Because you're working in the areas that are able to bring better results. And with better results, you develop a better mental health. Number two, consistency. Consistency is the ability to keep pushing forward in things that you know are great for you and things that you know bring results, right? So at the end of the day, consistency always makes results happen. No matter whether you are spiritual or you are in terms of work or whatever you are, everything that you do consistently yields results very faithfully. So keeping on makes sure that you yield results. And with the results, again, you're able to get to a point where you can state, okay, you know what? I'm good. Since this is bringing results, then I'm able to see, wow, and that calms me. That makes me even more proud and makes me happier so that I can be able to continue. And that now brings it to a positive mental state. Decisiveness, when you're able to now say, this is who I am, this is what I am, and take responsibility. Again, responsibility. You're able to take responsibility for wherever that happens, because at the end of the day, if you're being consistent and you know your strengths and you're working in that direction, then you're able to say, this is my responsibility. I'm taking responsibility. You're able to decide. And, excuse me, that now in turn makes you a better human being, right? And with that, again, yielding positive results. You need to grow in these aspects. You need to really grow in these aspects, as they would combinedly and even independently bring you better results. And there's nothing that's better for your mental health than that. Nothing that's better for your mental health than that. Let's go into the comment section. I see we have a few new comments. Nsengo Albert says, following keenly, of course. Thank you very much. Good content. Thank you so much. Imani says, watching from my house. Where can we get the tea? Talk to me nicely, talk to me nicely. Pineapple says wisdom. Thank you, my darling. Thank you very much. And we're continuing. Now we're all about the topic of the day again is the essentials of positive mental health. And our question of the day that I want you to answer in the comment section as we go on, what does positive mental health mean to you? And as we're going on, I want us to reflect upon the points that we've already made and the points that we're about to make. I can see that we have 25 minutes left, which is ample time because we've gone through approximately 4 points, and we're about to go through the last four. So, in the comment section, let me know, what does positive mental health mean to you? Simple question, but yet complicated. So tell me, and then we continue. Just as we're continuing, just answer the question as we go on. Now, the next thing, and as we go on, you also realize that these things are very connected. Now, awareness to grow. This is point number 5, awareness to grow. Yeah. There are people who do not like growth. There are people who do not like growth. Now, the awareness to grow is the ability to know that you are open towards learning and you're open towards growing. Now, funny story, have you ever met people who are very ignorant? They like themselves too much that they know everything. A wise man once said, the wisest person to walk this earth is a man that knows that they know nothing. Why? Because in knowing that you know nothing, you're able to know something every time. And this is the thing, I build a lot on knowledge. I really am huge when it comes to investing in my own knowledge because I know that I don't know. And that awareness to grow is what helps in terms of so many things and so many aspects, so many skills that I build through life, and so many things that I get to understand in life. Awareness to grow is very key, and it's not something that a lot of people possess. It is not something that a lot of people possess. Why? Because a lot of us, once we get that degree or once we reach a certain age, have you ever met those teenagers who tell you that I know everything now? Oh, you can't tell me nothing, especially when you're trying to advise them about relationships. They're like, oh, I know. What are you trying to tell me? I once read this 21-year-old who said that on Twitter, who said that, oh, I think I'm only 21 and I know everything that there is to know about men. Therefore, I cannot be played anyhow. People are out here being 41 years old and they're still being played by men. I was like, oh, habo. Character development loading for you. Anyway, let me just say that was a side note. It is very important for you to know that you need to constantly be aware that you need to grow. If we define ourselves in limiting statements, then we limit our ability to grow. If we define ourselves with statements such as I know, everything that you're told I know, that is a very limiting statement. Whether it's, even though it might be a good statement, knowing is very good, but also knowing that you do not know everything and being able to open up your mind towards other people, that people can actually teach you something, people can actually show you more than you actually think you know, then you're able to grow in so many aspects. It's not everything that you know in life, it's not everything that you, come on, there are people who know that they know. And at the end of the day, when you now have a conversation with somebody who knows everything, you realize that their knowledge capacity is very, very limited. They know what they know, and then they know nothing else. And this is something that they constantly will repeat. Why? Because they don't know anything else, and therefore they're not growing. They're stagnant in that small bubble of this is what I know and this is just it. And I will constantly jab people with that, and I will be mean. And I wrote something again. I go back to the statements that I wrote, right? I go back to that statement that I wrote about people who are mean with knowledge. People often are mean with knowledge because what they know is very limited. It's this size. And in that knowing that, they want to keep it to themselves. They really want to keep it to themselves. Why? Because they really feel that if they give it out, they won't have anything else. And that's what happens when you think you know everything. What you know is very limited. Therefore, you'll tend to hold on to it. You'll tend to hold on to it rather than give it. And therefore, you're not open to giving, you're not open to learning more. You're just staying there with your in your cocoon of your knowledge. People who know that they don't know and they are very open to growth will tend to constantly put in. And if you ask my friends, it's always like, I asked a friend asked me one time, what gift do you want for your for me to give you? And I told them, pay for me a course. She looked at me and she was like, huh? I said, yeah, I want you to pay for a course for me. There's a course I want. If you can be able to pay that course for me, I'll be very happy. And she was so shocked. She was so shocked. And most people, if you ask them, well, I'll tell you, by the way, there's a certain course I've been eyeing. I need to do it. And this is not even to put it out there, but there's so much I keep on taking in that it has shown me so much. I've learned so much in such a period of time that it has also taught me how to be humble, how to be kind, how, and so much knowledge, just pumping knowledge, whether it's on matters spirituality, whether it's on matters technology, whether it's on matters mental health, whether it's on matters, it's constantly being ready to grow in all aspects, spiritually, career wise, educationally, in topics such as politics, topics such as any topic, name it. It's that ability and awareness to grow that can also help you achieve um, positive mental health. And this is something that really, really helped me a lot. Being able to constantly grow in yourself, knowing that there's so much out there for you to know. It also teaches you, like I said, how to be humble, how to be, kind, because there's so much knowledge and you know that you don't know. Therefore, every time you're pumping in something new, you're like even more ready to know something else. And it teaches you so much. So be ready to grow in all aspects, especially knowledge. And don't have limiting statements in your mouth. Don't be out there like, oh, I know, I know, I know, I know, I know. And don't be mean. Another thing, don't be mean with your knowledge. Don't be that person who holds on to that cocoon of knowledge that in your holding on, you're also closing yourself up towards knowing more. Don't do that. Always be wide open. And there's so much knowledge for us to have, so much. And trust me, that degree is very little knowledge to hold on to. Very little knowledge to hold on to. That diploma is very little knowledge to hold on to. Or that article that you read, share it. Let people know. And even as you are, be ready to constantly know. So with that said, going on to the next point, accurate thinking skills. Oh, Jesus. I think this is very, very important in terms of our mental health. And this is something that we are not taught in school. Accurate thinking skills is something that we're not taught in school. And we need to think accurately. Sometimes we interpret our day-to-day cases and end up living in the most anxious way simply because we haven't thought critically and accurately. And let me tell you something. There's some people when you just tell them one thing, um, why am I even saying some people? Sometimes even for me, if I'm told one thing and I overthink, I recently had a situation. I just thought about. I recently had a situation where friends, not so friends, told them something, and we had a discussion, and we constantly had discussions and really heated discussions because of the fact that they would not critically and accurately think about situations that we caught ourselves in, and therefore it would cause a drift between us. It would cause trouble, it would cause chaos. So it would be a situation where like, also, why didn't you do this, why didn't you do that? And I'm like, uh yeah, it would really cause drift, and it will cause a lot of tension. And sometimes when we interpret our day-to-day life cases, when you're looking at something, I don't even know what best example to give. When we look at situations in our life, we constantly get anxious. Why? Because we haven't sat down to analyze, we haven't sat down to think critically. I'm not telling you to overthink, I'm telling you to think critically. Think critically rather than jumping into conclusions. Number one, don't jump into conclusions over things. Have accurate thinking skills. They will help you have a positive mental health. Jumping into conclusions gives you blood pressure, high blood pressure. Jumping into conclusion gives you high blood pressure. Let me tell you that. It gives you high blood pressure. It heightens your blood, how your blood is boiling in your body. Don't assume. Do not assume. We're talking about jumping into conclusions. Number two, do not assume. Assumptions will make you anxious. That you assume, oh, they have not called me because they are cheating on me. My husband or my wife is late because they are sleeping with someone. Or my friend didn't call me because they are jealous about me. Allah, do not assume. Think critically and accurately. And if not, communicate. We're going to talk about communication in a few. That's actually our last point. But accurate thinking saves your day to day situations. If you constantly are not critical and accurate about the things that you think about, the things that you talk about, how you interpret daily situations, then you realize you end up in a spiral of none critical thinking, and then you end up having high blood pressure for nothing. You will kill yourself for nothing. You will boil your blood for nothing. So therefore, don't we do not want you to die. We do not want you to die. Don't jump into conclusions. Don't assume. Don't be out here thinking that everything is negative. If you constantly think about negative things, we're going to watch that video again. If you constantly think about negative things, you end up being a pessimist. And when you are a pessimist, every opportunity of your life, now you might even be in a beautiful relationship, but because you have already jumped into conclusions and assumed the worst, you end up breaking a beautiful relationship because of your non-critical thinking and non-accurate thinking. See your life, see your life, see your life. You end up breaking a job situation because you think everybody at work is against you. See your life, think critically and think critically and accurately. Think critically and accurately about situations in your life. It's very important to I might laugh about it, but it's very, very important. So many of our daily life situations and daily life happenings are destroyed because we don't take a moment to step back and we don't take a moment to actively think. Therefore, it's very important. And it now brings me forward to the next point, the point number, I think number nine, or number six, sorry. Point number six, it brings me to attitude towards life. When, again, let me show you a video. Let me show you this video because I want you to internalize what is being said in the video before we go on. Hello, everyone. My name is Victoria Nkatha from Responding to Life, and I'm here with your word of the day. Today's Wisdom Wednesday. Today's word of the day is inspired by Winston Churchill, who says that the pessimist sees the difficulty in every opportunity, while the optimist sees the opportunity in every difficulty. And this is how a lot of people usually don't thrive in situations. And this also reminds me of the show that we're about to have tonight. But let me just go on with the word of the day. Now, if you constantly see difficulty in any situation, whether good or bad, then you'll end up being in a situation where you'll have negative habits because already you've tuned yourself to thinking about the worst about everything. Now, when you tune yourself to thinking positively, you then start behaving and maximizing on your potential. You start behaving in a positive manner, and therefore you start developing positive habits, which in turn give you positive results. So develop a positive attitude, see the opportunity, and I will see you tonight at Responding to Life on tonight's show. See you then. Developing a positive attitude, developing a positive aspect towards life. Don't be a pessimist in life. Our attitude determines very often, actually, more often than you actually think, how your life pans out. If you constantly are a pessimist, thinking that life will go to trash, then your life will go to trash. Our attitude towards life determines how our life pans out. And I realized this once I had someone who was going through a very tough situation. And the moment they were giving up, it really, things went from bad to worse. But the moment they took a step and they said that, hey, I am not defined by my situation, then definitely saw an improvement in their lives. Your attitude will help develop things in your life that you do not even understand. And we always discussed initially our attitude and our attitude of gratitude, especially in life. Whatever life and experiences that we go through, we appreciate them. We learn how to appreciate and have an attitude of appreciation to what life and our experiences are rather than what they're not. When you constantly look at what you do not have more than you look at what you have, you realize that you'll constantly be in a negative mental health state. Why? You'll constantly be thinking, oh, I don't have this. Oh, I don't have a husband. Oh, I don't have a wife. Oh, I don't have a car. Oh, I don't. But yet you may have a bicycle. Maybe you even have a mother that you're screaming and crying about a boyfriend or a girlfriend, but you have a mother, and some people don't even have that. And these are things that we constantly have to look at and be appreciative of. Somebody is probably killing themselves because they feel that they're not good enough in life, because they're thinking, oh, somebody's married and I'm not. And you now get to a position of not being appreciative of the fact that you may not be married, but hey, you have a PhD or something like that. Hey, you have a mom. You have both parents who are alive, and there's someone who's not. Maybe that married person doesn't even have both their parents alive. You have a great relationship with your parents, and you're not realizing that your attitude towards life will often determine how your life is going to pan out. You have a good job, but instead of focusing on the good job that you have, you're thinking you have only a bachelor degree and somebody out there has a master's degree. And while you're thinking about that and how they have achieved what they have in their life, and you're looking at what they have, you're not thinking that you have a good life. Yet that person with a master's degree probably doesn't even have a job. How are you viewing your life? You probably have a master's, you have a great life, you have da 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 da, but what you're thinking about is how you don't own a car. As in, so many of us constantly put ourselves and we battle in our heads. We constantly battle in our heads and we put ourselves down because of the things that we do not have. And that in turn now places us in situations where we are less likely to prosper because we're constantly battered at the fact that we do not have this, we do not have that, rather than appreciating ourselves, appreciating what we've already achieved, appreciating what it is. And I'm not saying that you should now become complacent or comfortable in the zone that you're in and simply just say, oh, yeah, I have this. So, yeah, that's it. No, constantly being at the point of you have goals. We talked about goal setting. We talked about being able to have a vision. You know where you want to go. But even in knowing where you want to go, you're not constantly having a negative attitude towards yourself simply because you think you have not or you have not achieved. But in moving forward, we only move forward by seeing where we have been, appreciating where we have been, and setting newer goals so that we can be able to make progress. Constantly looking at other people and having this attitude towards other people and what they have ends up placing ourselves at negative competition and negative mental states. You're constantly looking at the grass being greener in somebody else's house, but then you're not realizing that yours is could be as green, but because it's greener on the other side, you're thinking, hey, bana, and you're only looking at their front yard. And that's the thing, you're not even understanding the struggles that somebody else might have. Remember, you're not alone. Understand your attitude towards life will determine how your life pans out. Learn how to be grateful, learn how to look at life on a positive aspect, learn how not to be a pessimist where you're seeing the problems in every opportunity rather than seeing the opportunity in every difficulty or in every problem. That is how living a life of potential success and growth is all about, seeing opportunity in every difficulty rather than seeing difficulty in every opportunity. Become an opportunist. Sorry, an optimist. That's the opportunist. No, don't become an opportunist. Become an optimist. Become a person who sees the good. Become a person who sees the good in others, the good in situations, the good in everything that even may seem as if it's dark. And trust me, when you now start doing that, you now start making moves that even you yourself will be surprised about. And I'm telling you this because I'm a living testimony. I had to change my mindset towards certain things to be able to see life pan out for me. Now, the last but not least, it's actually, in my opinion, this is very, very important. All of them are very important. Now, communication, people, and social skills. If you want to be able to have a positive mental health, then you need to have people and social skills. Now, remember, the quality of your life will always be hugely influenced by the caliber, the depth, and the quality of the relationships you keep. And let me repeat that. The quality of your life will always be hugely influenced by the caliber, the depth, and the quality of the relationships you keep. What does that mean? Your friends, your people around you, the level and the depth of those relationships is what will make sure that you're now getting a proper quality of life. In turn, this contributes towards you getting quality and positive mental health. If you're not learning how to relate better with yourself, you will not learn how to relate better with others. In turn, better relations will now make you feel worst relation, sorry, will now make you feel as if you're lonely, you're isolated, you're not good enough, you're not worthy. In turn, this now makes you now change your mindset, and it now makes you have negative aspects towards the above things that we have mentioned. You need to know how to discern between people who are not meant for you and people who are meant for you. You need to learn how to communicate also with others. You need to know when to say, hey, this is not for me, this is for me. You also need to learn how to grow in depth with the people that are around you. It is not enough to just have a shallow relationship with people. It is not enough to just have a very baseless relationship with people. It is not enough to not have quality friendships and relationships. What are the levels of relationships that you have? Anything that is right off bat just here will in turn not bring any value to your life, and you realize that you will have so many people around you, but there's nothing that is essential that is coming out of the relationship that you're keeping, and it in turn now makes it even hard to be able to relate in life. Why? Because people around you hugely influence. You're told, show me your friends and I'll tell you who you are. What is the caliber of the people that you're keeping around? I'm not talking about social class. I'm talking about what is their depth? What are they bringing in your life? What is their essence? How are they influencing your life? Are they negatively influencing your life, or are they positively influencing your life? The people you keep around you, you need to know what level of people are you keeping around you. Is it people who you can call on when you're in trouble? Is it people that you can be able to have deep and meaningful conversations with? Is it people that you can run to and ask about entrepreneurial advice? Is it people that you can be able to pray with, if you're spiritual, that is? Are these people that can be able to stand in the gap for you? Are these people that can be able to help you? Let's say you don't have a job. Are these people that can be able to help you find ways in which they can help? Or are these people who run away the moment trouble comes to your end? Are these people that you can only drink with and just hang around with and have no meaningful relationship with? Are these people who, if once you now start talking philosophy, they run away because they want to talk about girls and men and whatnot? Are these people who you can be able to fully rely on, or are these people who are worthless, to say the least? One thing that will attract people of caliber to your life is you being a person of caliber. There's no way that you will attract people of caliber and attract people of depth and attract people of quality if you yourself are not of quality. You need to be able to work on yourself such that you're also able to attract these people and also make the shaft fall off. You need to remove the other people who are not necessarily of your caliber, of your depth, of your quality. You need to, because if you're moving forward, you do not need people who are not moving forward in your life. If you're all about growth, you don't need people who are constantly on the victim state, living in the victimhood state around your life, because they live in victimhood state. They might slowly bring you to a point where you're constantly living in victimhood state as well. If you're not having people who are willing to learn, if you're not having people who have awareness to grow, you have people who are all knowing and they Mr. Know It Alls and Miss Know It Alls. If you have those in your life, you'll slowly realize that if you don't remove them from your life, or if you don't say, hey, we're either growing or I have to go, you now realize that they may influence you now becoming a Mr. Know It All and stagnating your growth. I was once in a situation where I was with someone, and the moment I left that situation, I realized it's like my life had been on a handbrake. And there are people like that. Your life is hugely influenced by the caliber, the depth, and the quality of the relationships that you keep. That is in regard to every relation that you have in your life. There are people that will be your friends, and once they are your friends, you feel as if the handbrake has been pulled up, and you realize that you're stagnating and you're going around in a circle. You're not moving forward. So understand where you want to go. Keep people around you that are like minded so that you'll be able to move forward together. Otherwise, The moment you leave them, you'll realize, boom, the handbrake has been put down. You can easily drive off. That was for today. Remember, remember all that we have talked about, and remember to constantly be in a self regulation aspect, and remember to be and grow in positive mental health. That is what we want to achieve. Now, with that said, we are here every Wednesday from 6:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. That is Central European time. Because of daylight savings, that has changed from 7 p.m. and that now becomes 7:30, 6:30. No, it becomes 8:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. East African time. We were 30 minutes late today because I was stuck in traffic somewhere, but here we are and we managed to do our show for the day. So therefore we were 30 minutes delayed. But we will stick to 6:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Central European time, and that is 8:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. East African time. I do hope that you learned something, and I'll see you on the next show. Have a great evening, great morning, great afternoon, wherever you are, and bye.